Hi there, Mike from Greenway. I hope you're doing well today. I wanted to go over a question that comes up from time to time that comes to my attention, something I read on the internet sometimes, or maybe I hear in the news, and that's the concept of only rich people can afford to get an electric car. It's a toy for rich people. It's not really practical for the middle class, and it's not really something that's within reach of the average person. So let's just talk about that idea. And if you go back in time, 20 years ago, there weren't any electric vehicles, and the first modern electric vehicle to come out was in 2008, the Tesla Roadster, and that was definitely a sports car. It was a well over $100,000 for that vehicle, and it was very fast and quick and agile, but it was definitely a toy for the rich. And I wonder if that being the start of modern EVs is what's caused this thought process of needing to be rich to own an EV. It comes forward into the modern times. The second EV that came out, well, there was a few more that got released at that time. There was the Tesla Model S around 2012. There was a Nissan Leaf in 2011. And in some jurisdictions, there was the Mitsubishi i-MiEV, which was in 2008, although it came out in North America in 2012. Still, even the most entry-level vehicles were over $40,000. Tesla was still selling their Model S for over $100,000. So again, quite expensive compared to the average cost of a new vehicle at that time. Let's fast forward to 2024. How is the situation now? There's a lot more electric vehicles available for sale, and they have quite a wide variety of starting prices in the mid 40s and up 40,000s, and there's still quite a few that are over $100,000, and I would say those are, certainly above average in terms of cost. But there's a lot of vehicles that are getting more into the middle price range, and even if we look at the ones that are new, they're starting to be very close and or even very equivalent to similar gas vehicles. Now, still, $40,000 is quite a bit of money to spend on a vehicle. Let's look at some other options. Well, now that EVs have been around for over 10 years, there are used electric vehicles as well. And there's a lot of different options, and there's many, many models that have been out now for several years. And if you take some of the oldest ones that are 10 years or more in age, those ones have gone through a time of depreciation, just like any 10-year-old vehicle does. And the prices are quite reasonable. You can get vehicles, several models, used vehicles for under $10,000, which is likely within reach of many people. And then the next question you may ask yourself is, well, a 10-year-old vehicle, is that what I want? Is it reliable? Is it going to break down on me? Is it the right choice for me? And I guess the same question would apply as well if it was a gas vehicle you're considering. So I think the same questions and concerns are valid for both gas and electric vehicles, but times have changed, and now there are quite a few more electric vehicles that are now in the used marketplace. And if you look at the costs of electric vehicles over the past few years, they have been steadily decreasing, while the features, especially on the new ones, are increasing. They're getting bigger batteries, they're getting longer ranges, they're getting more features. There's more SUVs available, there's more different vehicle types, there's trucks, and things like, for example, if you most recently heard in the news a few months ago, the Tesla Cybertruck started shipping. And again, that vehicle is very unique in its style, very unique in its features, and then also it commands a high price. But it's received a lot of press, and because of that, that may have led some people to believe that, well, see, here we go again, another high-priced electric vehicle that I can't afford. And the reality is there's loads of other vehicles that aren't getting as much attention in the press compared to the Cybertruck that are much more affordable. and much more, I would say, mainstream in their styling. Of course, if you've seen the Cybertruck, it's very futuristic looking, so that might not be for you. But let's talk about used electric vehicles and their reliability. One of the first questions you ask when you're buying a gas car is, how well has it been maintained? Has it had its oil changes? What about the timing belt? The timing belt probably needs to be changed after 60,000 or 90,000 miles. What about the tires and the brakes and the transmission and the antifreeze? Has it been flushed recently? How about the exhaust system? All these components are questions you would ask about a 10-year-old car, a gas car. But let's now turn it to a 10-year-old or a 8-year-old or a 6-year-old electric vehicle. Some of those same questions, of course, they still apply. How's the tires? How's the brakes? How's the general condition of the car? Is there a lot of rust? Is there a lot of door dings? And the interior, is the cloth or the interior leather or cloth interior, is it in nice condition? Is it clean? Does it look like it's been treated well, or does it look like it's been abused? All those questions still remain. But the question about maintenance of the gas engine is not there. And then the question leads to, well, what about the battery? Is the battery going to last? And what about the motor? Well, in electric vehicles, the motor is electric, of course, and it just has one moving part. It's very simple and very, very reliable. And it's extremely unlikely that any of those electric motors are going to suddenly stop functioning. Typically, those are going to outlast the chassis of the vehicle. But let's talk about the battery. Now, there's a report that recently came out that reviewed the number of batteries that need replacement since 2012 or 2011, and they've said that 2.5% of electric vehicle batteries have been replaced over that time. They did say, however, that the majority of those replacements were in 2011 and 2012 on the early vehicles, and the more modern recent vehicles, the reliability of the batteries has gone up significantly, not requiring you to have to do any replacements. So therefore, most likely, the battery that you get with an electric vehicle, even a used one, is going to last the lifetime of the car. There's no particular maintenance that's required on the battery, an electric battery. It's intended to last the life of the car. So if you take that into account and you look at used electric vehicles, of which there's many more options now, there are quite a few vehicles that are affordable. So if we go back to the original question, are electric vehicles just for people who are rich? Will they ever be affordable for the middle class? And I think the answer is yes. I think there's a lot of options out there now that didn't exist 10 years ago. News and information and rumors and statements from 10 years ago really don't apply now because we're in a different time, and the electric vehicle selection has improved significantly. I think of my first electric vehicle I bought in 2013. It was the smallest car pretty much on the road. It's called a Mitsubishi i-MiEV, and it was quite expensive for the size, but yet it still saved me thousands of dollars in fuel over the time that I owned it. And so the question then becomes, what's the total cost of ownership of the vehicle? So if you're buying a 5 to 7 to 10-year-old electric vehicle, and it provides you with the transportation that you need for your daily needs, and on top of it, you're saving money on fuel instead of using gasoline, which is more expensive on average than using electricity when you fill it up at home, when you recharge it at home, you're very likely and almost guaranteed to be saving money in the long run. So it's something to reconsider and to look at, and ignore what you're hearing about the Tesla Cybertruck or the other news gathering vehicles, and take a look at a used electric vehicle and see if it would be right for you. I hope you found this video informational or informative. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks a lot and have a great day.